For procedure call, here we can see the problem statement again. This is a problem statement. x86 ALP to find number of blank spaces, number of lines and occurrences of a particular character. Accept the data from the text file. The text file has to be accessed during program 1 execution and write for procedures in program 2 for the rest of the processing. And we have to use public and external directive is mandatory. So in this programming basically we have to find, because you are taking a input from the user side. So user side means text file. You are taking an input in a text file. So whatever string you will get it from the user side, in that string you will find number of blank space, number of lines and occurrences of a particular character, and you have to use public and external keyword and for a near procedure call. So you can see, and everyone knows this thing, in assembly language programming the program contains 3 sections: data section, BSS section and code section. Data section for the initialized variable, BSS section for the uninitialized variable and text section for the coding. Means actual coding basically we will start after global underscore start and underscore start label. Then so we have to understand what is the for procedure call and what is near procedure call. So in a for procedure call, when you have a 2 different code section and you are calling procedure from one code segment to another code segment, so this is a for procedure call. And when you are calling procedure within the same code segment, this is a near procedure call. And here you can see the example of near procedure call. This is your file.asm. This is a file, and this file contains data section, BSS section and text section. You can see here global underscore start and underscore start is the label. Then call procedure and call procedure 2, then exit, and immediately you are defining procedure 1 and procedure 2 in the same code segment. So you can see here, this is the definition of procedure 1 and this is the definition of procedure 2, and you are calling the same procedure within a same code segment. Means you are calling procedure 1 here and you are calling procedure 2 here. So basically you are calling the same procedure 1 and procedure 2 in the same code segment. So this is a near procedure call. Now you see the example of for procedure call. So this is for procedure call. This is your file1.file.asm and this is file1.asm. In file.asm, in this file you can see data section, BSS section, text section and calling procedure 1 and calling procedure 2. This section you will not see here. Then you see the second file, file1.asm, and here you are using a extend procedure 1 and procedure 2, because in second file you are calling procedure from the first file. So that's why you are using a keyword extern. Now section.data and section.text, then section.bss. So data section you are using for the initialized variable and the BSS section you are using for the uninitialized variable. Then you can see in the text section start, call procedure and call procedure 2. So here you are defining a procedure 1 and procedure 2 in the file.asm, and you are calling this procedure in file1.asm by using an extend keyword. So this is the extend keyword we are using because you are defining a procedure in a different code section, you are calling a procedure into next file. So that's why we are using an extend keyword. Here we are using a public keyword because where you are defining a procedure 1 and procedure 2, here you will use the public keyword, and into next file you will use the extend keyword. So you can see this in this example, file.asm and file1.asm. In file.asm you can see data section, BSS section and text section. In second file, file1.asm, you can see here again data section, BSS section and text section. And here we are calling a procedure 1 and procedure 2, and we are defining procedure 1 and procedure 2 into first file. So this is a for procedure call. So basically this is the difference in near procedure call and for procedure call. Now this is the execution method for procedure call. $NASM space -f space ELF64 space file1.asm. So here you are assembling file 1 and file 2. NASM space -f space ELF64 space file2.asm. So you are assembling two files, file1.asm and file2.asm. Then you will create the object file by using the execution line ld space -o space file1.o and file2.o. Then you will execute the file procedure. So these are the macro file operation. So this is the file handling program. So that's why we are using a different procedure call for file opening, file closing, file exit and for the procedure opening, procedure closing and exit from the program. So here we will see the file opening, means file operation open and close. So move rx, 2. So move rx, 2 is the system call for opening the file. We are moving this 2 into accumulator register. Then move rda, file name, that is terminated with /0, means with a null character. So we are terminating file name with a null character, and that we will move into destination index register. Then move rsi, mode. Mode we are using for the reading operation, for writing operation and for reading and writing operation. So 0 system call we are using for reading operation, one system call we are using for writing operation, and 2 system call we will use for reading and writing. Then move rdx, permission. So this is a permission set, means what operation you want to perform on that file, means you want to perform read operation or write operation or read and write operation. So this thing basically you will see by using a permission call. Then syscall. Syscall is a system call that invoke the procedure to execute the instruction. Then returns rx equal to file handle, means if you are getting success for opening a file, in that case you will get a non-negative value. If you are getting a negative value, that means you are getting a negative value for the failure. Then syscall open file. This is the example for opening the file. Move rx, 2 means open system syscall return file handle in rx if file opened successfully, else return -1. So if you are getting a positive value, that means you have successfully opened the file. If you are getting a negative value, that means you are unsuccessful for opening the file. So move rda, file name. Here in destination index register you are moving a file name. In rsi, 2 means this is the mode for filing, means what operation you want to perform on that file. If you want to perform read operation, in that case you will pass 0 system call. If you want to perform write operation on that file, then in that case you will move one system call into RSA register, and if you want to perform read and write operation on that file, in that case you will pass 2 system call into RSA register. Then rdx, 07770. So this is a permission set, and syscall, it is a system call that invoke the processor to execute above instruction. So here this is the system call move rx, 2. Move rx, 2 means 2 for the file opening. Then rda, file name. Here you are passing a file name into RDI register and mode into the RSA register. So RSA is the source index register. If you want to read on that file, in that case you will pass 0 system call. If you want to write on that file, in that case you will pass 1 system call into RSA register. And if you want to read and write operation on that file, in that case you will move 2 into RSA register. Then rdx, 07770, this is a permission set. Syscall means system call. So syscall, it is a system call that invoke the processor to execute the above instruction, and move file descriptor, rx return file handle into rx. Then this is the example for reading the file. Move rx, 0 for reading the file. Move rda, file descriptor input value. Move rsa, buffer. Buffer means where you want to store that string, and in that string we will perform the operation for finding number of space, number of lines and number of a particular character occurrences in this string. Then in rdx register we will pass the length of that string. Then syscall, it is a system call that invoke the processor to execute above instruction and return length in number of bytes read in rx register. So for closing the file, move rx, 3. So 3 system call we will pass into accumulator register for closing the file. Then move rda, file descriptor input value. We will move into RDI register for the successful return or unsuccessful return. Then syscall for executing this instruction. Then this is the algorithm for counting number of blank space into the string. So accept file name from the user. Whenever you will get, means in that case you are taking input from the user side. So you are taking input in the text file. So accept file name from the user side, then end file name with a null character. Here you are using whatever file name you are getting from the user side, this file name basically you will append with the null character value. Then open a file using a function 2. 2 system call we are using for the file opening, and that call we will move into rx register, means in a accumulator register. Then read file in a buffer variable using function 0. So 0 system call we are using. If you wanted to perform read operation on that file, in that case you will pass 0 system call. If you wanted to perform write operation on that file, in that case you will pass 1 system call. Then you will get length of the file, and number bytes read in REX with end of file system. So accept the file name, append with the null character, and to system call we are using for opening the file, 0 system call we are using for reading the file, and after that we will get the length of the file and decrement RX to get actual length. So why we are taking actual length? Because we wanted to perform operation on the actual length of the file. When we append null character with the file name ending, in that case it is not the actual length. So for getting the actual length, we will perform the decrement operation on the accumulator register. Then point RSI to point the buffer, and after that we will point out the buffer variable by the RSI register, because we will move the address of that string into RSI register for performing the operation. Then take content of RSI in accumulator and compare with 20H, because 20H is the hexadecimal value for the spaces. So that's why we are comparing that value with the accumulator value. So what we are doing here, we are accepting the file name, append with the null character. To system call we are using for opening the file, 0 system call we are using for reading the file. Then we will get the actual length by decrement the accumulator register and pointing out your buffer variable with the RSI register. So RSI here, it is pointing out the buffer variable where we save our string. Then that content we will move into accumulator register and we will compare that content with the 20H. If equal, then increment the blank space counter, else increment the RSI pointer, because your content is matched with the 20H. In that case means you are finding the blank space, then you will increment the counter. If you are not finding the blank space, in that case you will increment the RSI register for comparing the next content. So repeat the procedure till actual length will not become 0, because your actual length is like a counter. If your counter is not become 0, in that case you will perform that operation again and again. So your actual length basically working as a counter here. Then call display procedure to convert blank space counter in ASCII and display the number. And after getting the result, basically you are getting the result into ASCII format. That's why you have to use the display procedure for converting your ASCII number into your hex number into ASCII number, and after that you can display on the output screen. So this is the procedure for substring occurrences, means particular character occurrence in your string. So this is the algorithm for that. And accept substring to search, point RSI to buffer, point RDI to substring, then take content of RSI into accumulator and compare with content of RDI. If equal, then increment the RSI in RDI and decrement length 1 and length 2. Then if not equal, then RSI decrement length 1. Repeat the procedure till length 1 will not become 0 and call display procedure. So this is this thing we will discuss into code. Here you can see move RSI comma buffer. Buffer is a variable that contains the string. That address we will move into RSI register, and move RCX comma actual length. So actual length content we will move into counter register. After that move AL comma RSI. So this thing means this RSI it is a register, and when we close into braces, so when we closes into bracket, so this thing like a memory location. So whatever content basically we put at that memory location, we will move into accumulator register. After that content we will compare with the 20H. 20H we are using for the blank space, because it is a hexadecimal value and we are using for the blank space. So your accumulator content we are comparing with the 20H. If it is equal with the 20H, in that case we will increment the scount variable. So scount variable we will reserve the memory into BSS section for the scount variable. If it is not equal, then we will move to the skip label, and here we will increment the RSI counter or RSI pointer. So what you are doing here, buffer is a variable that contains the string. That address we will pass into RSI register. Actual length we will pass into accumulator register for counting purpose. Then from that memory location we will move from that memory location. So this RSI and this RSI is different. This RSI work as a register and this RSI work as a memory location. So whatever content basically put at that memory location, we will move into accumulator register, and after that we will compare that content with the 20H value. 20H it is a hexadecimal value, so this value basically we will compare with the accumulator content. If it is matched with the 20H, in that case we will increment the S count, means space count. If it is not matched with the space count or with the 20H, in that case we will move to skip label. For here we will increase the RSI register count. So compare AL comma 20H, then jump equal, increment the S count, then jump skip, increment S count, then increment RSI, decrement the actual buffer length, because actual buffer length working as a counter variable. So after performing one operation, we will decrease the counter variable, and we will perform that operation again and again until your counter will not become 0. And here actual buffer length basically working as a counter variable. So this is the procedure for actual space. Thank you.